This is part 2 of Measure of a Man. If you haven't checked out our last episode that we released, please go check it out. It will be titled Measure of a Man Part 1. So please go listen to that. Otherwise, you may get a little lost of what we're talking about. Is we're going to pick right back up where we left off. So if you haven't listened yet, go listen and then come back.
I hated Narcissa so much.
Scorpius woke up early and knocked on Draco's door, his office door, because he wasn't around the day before. And he didn't leave him a note. So Draco, didn't he leave a note that said "forgive me"? I think is what the note said, because I have "forgive me" for forgetting the note, and Scorpius forgave him immediately. Children are so capable
so sweet.
of forgiveness. Ugh, it hurts. So anyway. Let's see. Oh, the organization that's trying to overthrow the ministry. Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. What is it? It's not quite that. It's Percy. Rule following Percy.
Freaking Percy.
is like the leader of this like organization that's trying to like unseat the
overthrow Tiberius.
Yeah, trying to make it so like get a minister again, because this is ridiculous. That it honestly was kind of shocking that Hermione wasn't part of it from the beginning, but also not.
Right.
Like, I don't know. But everyone pissed me off because it was like all the department heads. They all pissed me off.
Yes,
that's it. End of sentence.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
They were so annoying.
I'm like, so you're a part of this organization, but I don't think we're moving forward if we have you as part of this organization, because you're going to be the exact same. As soon as you get in there and you start, making rules and stuff, it's just going to be bad. Like, yeah, a lot of the people were just still so prejudiced, and it just don't like that.
Let's see. Scorpius slept outside of Draco's office at some point, I think, because he still had the damn cactus.
Yep.
She soothed him and put him back to bed, and Malfoy was keeping the cactus alive, and I love that, because didn't he put like he kind of was like had diagnostics around it, and
he had a book.
He was keeping like, why is it leaning? Like it was hurt. Like, we're rehabilitating it. Like, oh, okay. Like, it was just so weird. So anyway, Draco's a swimmer.
Oh my.
Draco's a swimmer.
Yep.
Okay.
I love that we get the picture of him dripping wet after his morning swim. Yes, please. Yes, please. Pretty sure I've said that exact same thing in one of our fics.
You have.
Yep. Oh,
it's Draco Malfoy and the mortifying
dripping
ordeal
wet Draco Malfoy. There is something. There is something about that. Delicious.
Okay, so this is right around that time. Draco and Hermione are on the same page about Muggle methods being introduced into Narcissa's whatever. Yeah. Thank you. But they're so bullheaded and annoying. They just keep arguing and dancing around each other. Scorpius came down that morning and interrupted them talking, and he panicked upon seeing his father. Panicked.
He wasn't ready.
Seeing Draco. Yep. How freaking heartbreaking is that?
But I love the way Hermione handles it, though, and she don't leave. Do not leave, and she runs after Scorpius to get him to calm down, to come back in.
And what does she say? She told Scorpius that Draco's nervous too. Like, he's very nervous too, and it just hurts.
It's not just you. And is this is this the time that he first signs tomorrow to him, or is that a different?
We haven't even brought up his sign language.
I did earlier.
Oh, you did?
It's been mentioned once.
I did. Sorry. Scorpius was searching the table for his letter, only for Draco to give it to him by hand. Oh, I loved that. And then he started spending breakfast with them each morning, Draco, after that.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the first time that he signs tomorrow to him, but
I don't think so.
Very cute.
Yes, him making that full effort.
Yeah. Teddy and Andromeda kind of come up now, and they finally get Draco meets Andromeda to kind of like set up a meeting with him and Narcissa, I believe. And Draco signed Sweet Dreams to Scorpius. I think that was the very first thing he signed to him.
He signed to him?
Yep, Draco signed in all caps, "Sweet dreams." Oh, heart. So, and then Narcissa and Andromeda had their reunion, and let's see. Oh, Scorpius held Draco's hand for the first time at that little meeting, and Draco was so happy. That's it. I'm sorry. It's the little things.
It's the little
It is
things.
the
It's the
little
little
things.
things.
The little things add up and they're huge in this fic. Just huge. And I love it.
A heartbreaking thing was Daphne tries to spend time with Scorpius, but he never wanted to look at her because she looked
Yes.
like
Looks like his mom.
Astoria. And then she finally, we should have mentioned that earlier, but he finally hugged Daphne, and she started crying,
Yep.
and I
Me
was
too.
like,
Yep.
God. So, yep. Oh goodness, Scorpius spoke to Teddy, and then the Death Eaters ruined it by attacking Hermione's house.
I know. Yes, that part, it's like, wait, what? He spoke to you? Yeah. Didn't he tell him he wanted to go inside? Is that what
Yeah,
he
he
told
said,
him?
I'm done. I want to go inside.
Mm.
I was
What?
like, back up.
Uh-huh.
Wait a second.
Yes, the Death Eaters ruined that. Death Eaters ruined everything in this fic. Every heartwarming moment, just we're reminded that there's action in the story.
I know. See, I at random times I remembered, like, oh yeah, they are in danger.
Yep.
Like this has a this.
There is
okay.
a plot.
And there is a big plot. It's fine. It's not just fluff. Let's see. And they've been searching for her house for weeks. They tracked I think it was the kidnapped Auror's blood to anyway around there. And so I put, does this mean Hermione will stay with Draco? Wink, wink.
I know, I was
Um,
waiting. I was like, come on,
Yep.
one bed.
She does. She does stay with them that night, and Scorpius wants her to tuck him in.
I
Please
love
my
this night,
heart.
this whole night.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this
Speak.
whole night, then, it
Sorry.
ends up happening. She stays up and is waiting in like their living room on the couch or something, waiting for Draco to get home and is reading a book. And Scorpius comes out and she's like, you couldn't sleep. And he's like, no, shakes his head and she's like, well, why don't you come over here and does she pull out what does she do? She pulls out does she have the projector with her?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, and she
I don't know if this is
projects.
that time though.
I don't know either.
Oh no, it is. I think it is.
Okay, and she
Yeah, continue.
projects the galaxy, all the stars and everything up on
Pointing
everywhere.
out which one is his.
Yep,
which
and so
one's
they
his dad's.
they lay there under the stars in the house until he falls asleep, and they both fall asleep.
do.
And she wakes up with Draco standing there looking down at them, and, like confused. And I'm like, I wonder how
So
Draco
sweet.
felt
Like, what
walking
the hell is
in
happening?
to that. He probably felt very conflicted because he is so head over heels for her, but their last interaction as far as that went did not go very well.
Yeah.
But yet here she is being such a motherly figure to his child that he's like, this is perfect, that this is what he wants to see, this is what he wants to come home to. But he's like, but this can't happen, this isn't good, like she's gonna leave at some point. So I'm like, he probably was so conflicted. So much. I know I would have been, but
I would have just been swooning. I would have been like, oh,
so
so
cute,
cute.
so sweet.
Well, she ends up healing him, and he takes his shirt off to heal his like bruises.
Uh-huh.
At his shoulder.
Anyway.
Yes, his shoulder
yeah.
that's been
bothering him forever. And he doesn't
Yep.
see anybody about it and just
because
sits in
he
pain.
got it when his father died.
Yeah.
That's because he's at the end of it's either this chapter or the past one. Helen McRory, the actress who played Narcissa, died the week before that chapter came out, and they did like a little tribute at the end of that chapter, and I did cry. So R.I.P. That's it. I just wanted to add that little bit. I was very upset. So
Yes.
Let's see. Narcissa has been trying to get Draco to marry.
Yeah.
So they have a lot
This
of
hasn't been mentioned yet.
about that.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
whole
we did not
time
mention
she's
that.
like trying to shove him back into the marriage mart, and he's
Oh
like,
my
I'm
gosh.
good.
Astoria has not been in the ground how many months? It's like, oh my gosh.
I think 8.
Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible. And there's all these terrible women who only want him for his money and his name.
Yeah, they
all
don't
of
actually
that.
want
It's-
Scorpius.
Mhm.
And of course not. And Olivia, is that her name that Hermione meets both times? And she's just, she's awful.
I
I
don't
like
remember
that she
her
kind
name,
of,
but
it's like that Hermione mocks her the first time that she sees her without her knowing, like, oh, and, good luck to you too, future Mrs. Malfoy. I just laughed. I'm like, oh, it's so funny. Because, yeah, it's like you go to an event like that and you're like, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's see. Narcissa eventually brings Scorpius to garden with them, and I think that's super sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I
See,
have
now
a lot
I'm getting to
of
my notes that we've already gone through now. Sorry.
I've got a lot of like finger brushes, Draco and Hermione like brush hands and shit. God, it's so stupid.
That's when he's
they're
getting more
flirty.
flirty. Yeah, he's like,
Yep.
I know what I want.
They're flirting and I don't know how to handle myself. That's what's written right here. Let's see. They're holding hands, talking about courting. Sorry, that's where I'm at apparently.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
He wants Hermione to bring Scorpius to lunch.
I love I love when she does.
I know, everyone
Love
loves
it.
Let's see. She brought Scorpius with her to visit Neville. And I love Neville and Luna's interaction with Scorpius. I think it's just so freaking sweet. Because of course, Luna's amazing. And
Mhm.
Scorpius picked flowers. He picked flowers for Hermione. God, he's so fucking cute. Stupid. Oh, and this was when McLaggen approached Hermione while Scorpius was with her. And Scorpius did not like him. And someone, oh God, he's protecting his mummy. Aw, how sweet. A stranger said that.
Yes.
So that was the very first time. Let's see. Oh, and okay, so yeah, that McLaggen is being a
Yep.
dumbass, and Draco comes to the rescue. We love him, and Scorpius was so shocked
That he
when
just
Draco
picked him
picked
up.
He was like, oh my God. So anyway, I'm sorry.
I like how
And
both of them like just kind of froze as they realized like what was happening.
what just happened?
They were like,
It. Let's see. And
then
was it
he takes her
Scorpius?
hand too.
Oh, okay. Well, Scorpius,
Sorry.
he smoothed the tension between Draco's brows like
Yes.
Hermione does to him, and I was like, stop. Stop. I cannot handle this.
I am
So,
not well enough.
Anyway, I'm not. This is I'm not emotionally stable enough for this, okay? Oh, and
It's
poor
such a
Cho.
healing story. Poor
It
Cho.
is. Poor Cho. Unrequited love sucks because she loves Theo, and Theo's not capable of loving
Okay,
her right now.
But Cho was a bit of a shit.
Yeah, I'm
Only,
like, I don't
and she
know.
apologized for it.
Yes,
She
I am.
apologized
She
for
was
it.
a big person for, realizing that, okay, I overstepped. That was pretty horrible of me. So
Mhm.
I am sorry. I love that she did that. She showed up at Hermione's house and apologized for it
And
afterwards. I did like that.
apologized.
But man, I hated Cho in that moment. I'm like, just because you're getting hurt, you have
No.
to lash out at somebody else. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Pansy? Pansy, you need to see this. She needs to see that she's
Pansy's
not
hatred
perfect.
for
Pansy
Cho
hated.
was my favorite like subplot. Like,
Yes, I know. It's so funny.
Okay, jumping a little bit. Scorpius started acting out, and no one knew why. The poor baby was crying in her lap while she was reading a passage from Where the Wild Things Are. And there the passage talking about like death and being sad about death. I didn't even write all of it because I was crying as I was writing it, and I was like, can't. I'll just leave it at that.
Is this
So,
the same
that's
time
fine.
where he's having like a really hard time for like a week and
I think
he
so, yeah.
stops signing altogether and everything? It's just because he's missing his mother. And what Draco
Yep.
does, this is what's going to make me cry for the night, is that he takes him into a room. Hermione sits outside and waits, and he goes in and he lets him sit with Astoria's portrait. Now, this whole time I'm thinking that, oh, that's great. you know, he can talk to her. Maybe
Yeah,
he's
he
talking
can
to
see
her.
his mom.
And then we find out that it is a still portrait. She did not want it enchanted so that Scorpius could move on. I'm gonna cry now. So that he could move on and not be fixated on, you know, staying with her and not being able
Mhm.
to live his life. And I'm like, and so I'm thinking he's in there in the room chatting with her, and he's not. I
Very
can't.
upsetting.
It's just so upsetting.
Ooh.
But I get that, like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful for sure. But man, it's sad. Why'd you bring that up?
I'm sorry.
Why'd you bring that up?
Draco
Ah,
Draco and Narcissa have another like more issues. My God, they have a lot of issues this entire fic, by the by.
yeah.
And he eventually takes over his care. Like he takes over
Yeah. It's
from
like right
Narcissus
after
care.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like breaking from tradition. Like as much as I disagree with Narcissa, I felt so bad for her at this point. Like I felt so bad because she's just losing everything.
She is.
And she did it to
but
herself.
yeah, she's done it to herself. She
Like,
knows how to fix it. She's a big girl.
yeah.
So the fact that she chooses not to, it's her own damn fault. It's
It gets better, I promise y'all.
but yeah,
Let's
I
see.
was really happy when Draco took back everything. He's like,
Yeah.
nope,
He's
you
like, "I'm
will no
done."
longer be in charge of Scorpius's life. Nope, none of that. You're done. And I mean, I did feel a little bit bad how he storms out and everything, and I can't remember what Narcissus says to Hermione, but she says something along the I don't remember what it was along the lines of, but she's trying not to cry the whole time. And it's
Yeah.
like, yep, you felt that, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm now around chapter 25 for in my notes, but I love the part Hermione, like they're all kind of, they're getting a little close. Hermione forgot about dinner plans with Draco and Scorpius, and because she
Yes.
was in a research bin, and they show up bringing her dinner, and like they're
It's
eating
so cute.
together. They're all smushed on one side of the table because Scorpius likes to be between the
Between
two
them.
of them.
Yep.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Go for it.
I don't know what this is. This is something with Narcissa. She knew about Draco's feelings towards Hermione, apparently. Bugs me that she says that Hermione's unsuitable, but I digress. And I believe this is what Narcissa said. It's about mothers. No matter how old we get, how angry and frustrated you make us, how much you push us and hurt us, we never stop needing you, even when life takes you from us. I'm sorry, Draco said that to Narcissa. So, no, like, no matter how old we get, how angry or frustrated you make us, how much you push us and hurt us, we never stop needing you, even when life takes you from us. And I was sobbing reading that. So, that's it. I just love my mom. So, I have a really good relationship with my mother, and it's fine. Dementia runs in my side of the family, in her side of the family. So, that's why this story hurts. So,
Yep.
I'm
It
sad.
does.
Okay,
It
continue.
hurts. Yeah,
Oh,
now
and this is
we're
also when Scorpius lost a tooth.
yes.
Okay.
I love that he loses a tooth and has accidental magic over it. Because
It's funny
honestly,
that
me too.
she.
I hated
Well, he
losing
freaked
teeth as a
out.
child.
He
Losing
panicked.
teeth as a child
Was it an
traumatized
apple?
me. I hated
Oh
it.
my God.
I
Well,
hated it.
he lost, I think he was eating an apple, and she walks in the kitchen. All the cupboards are open, and Draco and Scorpius are just staring at each other. Scorpius is sitting here like this with his hands over his mouth, and they're just staring at each other. And I thought that was so
Yes.
freaking funny. And that's when she tells him about the tooth fairy. And she says, the tooth fairy leaves a galleon. I thought it
Yep.
was a sickle. Inflation.
Inflation. Yeah.
Yep.
Dead. God, it was so funny. So anyway, that's it. Oh, and Scorpius was so amazed that her parents are teeth healers.
Yes.
Oh, I just love it. Anyway,
So
okay.
so before that, this is so Hermione and Draco have started courting at this point. I love it when they start courting and like it starts out in his office and like he gestures for her to come sit by him
He's
on
like,
his couch.
come here.
Yep.
Right here.
It's
And she
so
does, and, like,
awkward.
and nothing happens. They read the whole time, and then at one point he holds her hand and then kisses her hand.
Mhm.
Like it's sweet, it's cute. And so
Aw.
then the story keeps going. And I love it when they get drunk. I don't know if no, they're both drunk. They both get drunk
They
together. I don't
kiss.
remember what they're doing. Yeah, and they make out, and then it starts to get really heated, and he stops it, and she's like, she gets upset, like, oh, like is kind of, oh, so we're not doing that.
Oh.
That's apparently
Oh.
not what you want to do. And he's like, no, 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 you don't understand. Like,
I want
yes,
to.
I want to, but I am not going to be this drunk when I do it. And I'm like, okay, I loved that. And then they fell asleep together. I loved that. Love it. It's just so sweet. I'm like, oh, they slept together and woke up together in the same place. It's just so
I th-
sweet.
How sad is that excites us?
I know. I know.
Listen, I will get it wherever I can. And if that's what gets me excited, then I'll take
Yes.
it. Okay.
So in the same chapter this, I think, chapter 20, I wrote them down. Anyway, this is where Scorpius leads Albus to the trees.
Yes.
This is the same chapter.
So, well, I'm backing up a teeny bit because they
Okay.
meet at the joke shop, and that's where
Yes.
Albus and them are there, and they realize they both lost a tooth, and they were smiling at each other
Yes.
with their gap tooth.
Because they haven't
whatever.
seen each other since Albus had to go away.
Yep. And
So-
this is when, oh goodness, Mr. Draco, you can call me Mr. Malfoy. Okay, Mr. Draco.
Yep.
Dead. And Draco was jealous of Lee Jordan because Lee Jordan was
Yes.
flirting with Hermione.
That's so funny.
So, anyway, love that. And then they go back, and this is where Scorpius helps Albus with his fear because Albus was scared of what was like the forest, and so he'd
Mhm.
been working up his nerve, and he went out with his father and Hermione and Scorpius, and he got past like the last flag, the farthest flag, and he panicked, and Scorpius was the one that helped him. Oh
It was
my
so
heart.
sweet.
Ah. And he was so proud. I
was
loved
so
Harry as a
proud.
dad in this.
Mhm.
He was such a good dad.
Yes, he
Just-
was.
I'm so proud of you. I was like, oh my God, okay. So, anyway,
told me that.
Scorpius is finally in therapy.
Yep.
Scorpius finally in therapy. Love that. Oh, and I love that his first session was just a staring contest. He
Yep.
just stared
Yes.
at the
Accurate.
therapist the whole time.
Yep.
10 out of 10. Let's see. Draco and Hermione finally went on a date. Don't know what it was.
That
I
was
didn't
their date where they
elaborate.
got drunk, I think. Wasn't it?
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
like, I
I
have
think
no
so.
idea. I didn't elaborate. Let's see. Then I have
maybe it
something about her
wasn't. I
mother,
don't know.
Hermione's mother.
Ugh.
Oh,
I just
her and her
put her
mom
poor
got
dad
in
hate her
fight.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Well,
we
I
forgot
don't
about
remember
that.
what the fight was about. She went right to Draco. She went right to Draco,
Yes.
and that's when oh goodness, like she's upset, and he's making her stay at his house, and they slept together. That's what I have. That's when they slept on the couch. So anyway,
So sweet.
Pansy and
They're so
Percy.
sweet.
Sorry, I'm jumping so much. Pansy and Percy. She got scared and broke it off. Queen, I understand.
Are we talking about when they're having like that friend get together in Regency
I don't know.
clothes?
I don't think I've got to that point yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Sorry.
trying to think of where we. No,
That's a little bit
I'm just
later.
trying to
You're
read
almost
online.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're very, very close to it because I don't know how. Like, I wrote that down, and then there's more stuff. So.
Oh yeah, there is
Um,
more because I'm pretty
oh.
sure doesn't Narcissa apparate again, and that's where she gets hurt.
Yes.
And they finally, I don't
They
know why
actually-
they didn't think about it before, but they decide to make her like an anti-apparition like ring.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
nobody thought of that before. From all the
Right.
people that you talk to. And
Yeah.
it was like the number one issue
Hundreds
that
of years.
everybody
Yeah.
had. Like, I was
Right.
like, whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I agree.
Let's see.
I do like that she had, was it a ring that she wore that Draco had enchanted that he could track her and find her? He could just apparate to her.
It was her necklace,
Okay.
Hmm.
I think, because she kept
Something.
touching it. I want to
Yeah.
say it was her necklace.
something like that. And I hated how Hermione gets over there, whatever, and everybody's panicking and freaking out. And how long has she been gone? An hour?
Like an hour
And
before
nobody's
I
told
spy-
Draco.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we're
Nobody
not
told
supposed to
her.
bother him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but doesn't matter. Like you get to tell him, like, oh. And so she goes and finds Draco and they apparate to her to save her, and she's hit her head on a rock and is bleeding. And it's like, yeah, anti-apparition. Needed it from the start.
That it took so long to me was one of the notes I wrote. I was like, why has no one thought about this before? But okay.
Right. I feel like that tends to happen though in just regular healthcare anyway, though, too.
Like something super important, and you're like, why
Yes.
was this not brought up
Yep.
way earlier?
And it's because you're thinking of so many different things that it's like it's impossible to think of every single thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get it, but at the same time, yeah, it seems obvious.
This was about the time, let's see, Scorpius and Narcissa are starting to get like along and making memories, working in the greenhouse. He finally spoke in her presence. He was saying hello to all of Hermione's plants in the
Yeah.
greenhouse. And that's when we find out he named his cactus Mint.
Is that
after the very
when we
first thing that
also-
Hermione gave him.
Yes. Is that when we also find out that he names everything else Granger? Is that later?
I think that's later.
Oh, dang it.
But Harry and Ginny are so thoughtful. They thought of sending Scorpius and Albus to the same school. I love
Yes.
them. And then this is the Pansy's party, her Regency era party. And I freaking
Loved
that.
it.
It's like this, the author picked this shit right out of my mind. A hedge maze, a hedge
Yeah.
maze. Like, someone's got to go bone in it. So
And
like,
they
literally-
didn't. As far as
God.
we know, they didn't.
Well, I'm pretty sure Pansy and Percy did, but that's besides the
I don't
point.
think
That's
they
in my
did.
mind they did.
In my
What?
mind, they
They did
did.
in my mind. Shut
She
up.
was so upset, and then he walks out holding her because she
Angry
fell asleep.
sex.
Okay, I guess she could have fallen asleep after that. You're right. You're right.
This is the
One,
chapter where Draco
Ron
says,
is stupid.
"Fuck it." This is the chapter where Draco
Yes.
says, "Fuck
Yep.
it," and then
Yep. And they do it for the first time.
Anyways,
Okay,
go ahead.
back up before we get to that. This is
Well,
where
let's talk
we
about
get by
Lisa.
Theo,
Sorry, go ahead.
by Theo, where he says gender is inconsequential, and I was like, love him.
Yep.
Ron is stupid that I almost felt bad for Lisa because he was purposely
Yeah.
like saying shit about
Describing
like,
Hermione.
Yeah, the perfect girlfriend was describing Hermione. I
know.
almost felt bad for her.
But you
Good
don't
God.
because she's
What the
so
hell?
awful.
She's a bitch.
She's so awful. Oh my gosh.
But Percy in this.
He
He was
could
saying
get
how
it.
much he loves Pansy in
Yes.
front of everyone. And he fought like she gets up in a huff,
Yep.
is upset, and he just follows her. He's like,
Calm.
I'm willing
I'm gonna go
to
find her.
wait for you. Like I love you. Like, ooh. Anyway,
Yeah, Percy in this
I love
thing could get it.
I know. Oh, and every woman was swooning over Draco holding baby Halia, which is Dean and Daphne's baby.
Yep.
Let's see. And then they bone.
Yep. Then he says,
they bone.
"Fuck
Let's
it,"
see.
and they
sure
bone.
do. They sure do. They eavesdrop on Pansy and Percy first in the hedge maze. They're not having sex at that point. So
Well, they go through a hedge maze, they walk around, and they come back inside because it was in like Blaze's like sitting room
Mhm.
in a chair,
In a
which I
chair.
know I'm skipping, but Blaze fucking
Gifting that chair
gifts
to
that
them
chair
was
to
so
them.
funny.
Oh my God, I died. But yeah, so
so
they
funny.
they boned in a chair, and
Oh my
I
goodness.
love that for them. Let's see. Oh, okay. Hold your horses. I've been watching way too much Bridgerton lately
I know.
because
Me too.
Don't worry about it. I think everybody has.
Well, the quote "she was ready to burn" threw me into the "I
Burn for you."
Like,
Of course.
and I was like, "Oh my God!" So anyway, that's it. That just threw me into that. So chapter 28 is when they finally
Have some sex.
So, yep, and boy was it good.
It was so
You know,
worth it.
and
Draco-
so Draco mentions right before this happens, he's telling her that he needs her to reach to, that she is not like they're courting.
Yeah.
but she's not doing anything like
Yeah,
to
you have to
show
show
him,
that
like,
you want me. You
yeah.
can't just like let
Right.
this happen.
Mm-hmm. And and then he says, "Wait, oh, I don't think I wrote it down, but like he still initiates the very heated kiss that leads to sex."
He says, "Fuck it," and then he goes
Oh,
in.
okay, that's why.
See,
Anyway,
my favorite
um,
line from this is Draco fucked like he was being rewarded for his patience.
I'll
love
give you the
that.
tingles.
Anyway, that's
Love
it.
it.
I'm so sorry. Who was it that overheard them? Was it Padma? Padma heard them boning.
Someone did, and
told
then
Ginny?
put up a privacy.
Yeah, and
Put up, like,
Ginny
the
walked up
silencio.
and she's like, "Okay, what the hell?"
Like, don't you don't want to
Um,
open that door. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it was Padma. Let's see.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
that's so
And that's
funny.
when Draco leaves for 10 days after the day after they finally bone.
And then
they don't
he
talk
he
at all.
ghosts her basically.
And I'm just like, okay, you both are so freaking stupid.
Yes, they are.
I thought it was so
Are.
funny. I was like, you know what? It's a good way to know if she actually really likes you. Like, if she's
That's right.
worried when you
That's
come back, like,
true.
win-win.
Well, that was when, let's see, she brings Scorpius to the hospital only for chaos to ensue, whatever. That's
Oh,
it.
it was so scary.
I don't know why I have it that way. She brings him to the hospital, and the hospital just goes to shit.
It's
And she
attacked.
brings Zippy in, and he calls her mom. He called her mom before he left. Anyway, I'm sorry. I was very upset about that. I did cry.
I'm fine. I'm not gonna cry. I'm fine. Let's keep going.
It
Keep
was
going.
it was really
keep going.
scary. You know, Greyback ends up showing up at the hospital, like,
And taking her.
yep, and taking her. But what I can't remember what happens in the scuffle. Like, so he apparates them somewhere,
Mhm.
Yes.
and she picks up the wand that fell on the ground. But why did a wand fall on the ground? What happened? I can't remember what happened.
I mean, her wand probably fell out of her grip.
But she didn't have her wand because he took it. I don't remember.
Okay.
Anyway,
I don't know
something happens.
what a
There's
wand
a
has to do
scuffle.
with
There's a
anything.
scuffle. She grabs her wand and she uses Sectum Sempra on Greyback, which I
Yes.
figure, I'm like, why didn't he die? Well, it's because he's such a big, giant, half man, half werewolf. That's why he didn't die.
Yeah.
And then she decides to apparate herself, and she's really
And
hurt.
she gets
She's
splinched.
she's hurt. Greyback hurt her at the
Well, she
hospital.
splinched herself.
Well, and then
She
and then
splinched
she
herself, too.
splinches herself. Yep. And so she
Okay.
tries to apparate. She splinches herself, and then like is literally dying there in some forest, wherever she apparated, and then like
Draco.
goes unconscious, and Draco finds her and saves her. And it's because Draco had enchanted all of Scorpius's notes as
tracking
trackers,
tracking,
right?
yeah.
And
Mhm.
she
She knew that.
was very
She
smart.
had a bunch
thought on her feet, and
Mhm.
took them all from Scorpius before he left with Zippy from the hospital. And then she
Zippy's
was
the
like,
half elf, by
yep.
the way.
And then she was putting them in Death Eater
In the
robes
pockets of
that
the
were
Death Eaters,
unconscious,
yeah, so they
and
could
everything,
get 'em.
or yep, to track them and everything. And so she still had some on her, which was good because that's how Draco found her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the trauma that Draco went through, finding her like that, just about dead. I mean, she was so close to death that
Something that we've all failed to mention is that there's a poison going around that they're trying to find a cure
Yeah,
for.
It's fine.
And she has prolonged exposure to this. Like there's a treatment for it, but she had prolonged exposure, so it
On top of
really
being
stopped her
splinched.
healing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, so she was super, super hurt. She was super delirious.
Fading in and out.
She kept thinking that she was tortured by Bellatrix, and Draco was the only one that could get her to
Calm
take her
down and
potions
take
while
the
she was
yeah.
hallucinating.
So sweet.
But my favorite thing about like her waking, Scorpius brought his cactus,
Yeah,
so she
Mitch
wouldn't
was
be
there.
alone.
A damn cactus.
Yes.
Oh my God. So yeah, it's
I
fine.
know. I love it. I love it when she finally gets to go back to Malfoy's house, and all the kids, she wakes up and all the kids are sleeping with her.
They're all in bed with her. Oh my God.
I
Hurt
loved
my
that.
heart. I like how, okay, so when she got splinched, it messed up like one side of her body. Oh my God.
Yes.
And she chopped off her hair, and I went, oh God, where did it go? She trauma chopped her hair. Girl, same. And like,
Yep.
because there's
Yep.
like a trope,
Yep.
you know, when you go through something big, you chop off your hair. I was like, oh,
I've done it.
It reminds me of
I've
the
done it too.
auction. It reminds me of the
Um,
auction where at the very end Ginny shaves her head. And I'm like, oh, I know you don't.
Oh yeah. I forgot about
Yep.
that.
I
She
forgot about
shaves
that
her
too.
head at the very end.
Oh, jeez. I understand. Anyway,
Sorry. Anyway.
this reunion with Scorpius was killing me. Oh, he was just so freaking cute. Yeah,
Oh,
woke up with all the kids in
first
bed.
the first moment that I actually liked Narcissa in this entire fic is coming up. It's when her parents come to visit her at
Bitch,
Malfoy's house.
yes.
And her mother says, after she tells her, she goes, "It takes me almost dying for you to show up." And she goes, "Well, I'm here now." And it's like, and Narcissa steps in and is like, "She needs to go rest.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry.
so you need to go." You know, and I'm like, thank you, Narcissa, for just, I don't know.
Helping Hermione stand her ground.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just,
I
ugh.
did like her mother was still infuriating. We don't know these people. Aren't they bigots? I did laugh at
How
that.
would
That was
you
pretty
know that
funny.
I don't know these people? You're
Yeah.
not a part of my
You don't
life.
know my life. Yeah, you don't
So
know
how
what
dare
I've been
you?
doing.
I know. Like, yeah, they know about the Malfoys because I'm sure she wrote about them as children.
Yep.
But she wouldn't be working with them if she still had those feelings. Oh, for the love. But Narcissa to the rescue.
I love the swimming. He takes her swimming to help physically rehabilitate
Yeah,
her.
like, yep. We finally got to see Draco's tattoo, his full tattoo. It's
I
a
love
dragon, you
tattooed
know,
Draco.
dragon. Over his dark mark, he has the Scorpio constellation, right?
Yep. I think so.
And because it's like that's like his redemption, it's fine. And what else did he have? Hang on. He had Daphne flowers on the back of his arm. He had the like Narcissus flowers and like roses. He had an olive tree, all to symbolize like his family. And I was like, stop, Draco, Draco. So anyway. Oh, and Draco. I love how much he loved Astoria. Like he loved her like a friend, you know?
Yeah.
And he let Theo be with her
I
when
can't
she died.
even like, yeah, that, yes.
Ugh, that hurt me. That hurt my
Yeah.
heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and this is where we find out that all of Draco's plants in his office are named Granger.
Yep.
And he asks to call her mom.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it. I was so like, okay, let's see. Draco. Oh, and Draco brought Albus over. Mr. Draco said I could come play. I did not, but I'm here now.
Yep.
Dad, I freaking love that kid.
Me too. Me too.
Let's see. And this, yep, that's where he takes her swimming. I do hate how she keeps evading just her feelings for Draco. It was infuriating.
It was absolutely. Yeah. I'm like, the way that he is taking care of you.
I would have jumped his bones so fast.
Or reciprocate back, like, since you can't because you're physically unable, talk.
Yeah, verbalize.
Be emotional. Be, you know, just, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, she drove me nuts. And it's not just this. Oh, it just continues. It just continues, her being so wishy-washy. But then I have to remember too, this is not going on for months. This has been maybe how long? How long since the solstice? Since their first kiss? How long has it been?
Maybe a month. And that's being nice.
I would have jumped.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, and they did, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It hasn't been very long. I don't know what that's like either. I told my husband I loved him before we started dating. I was also 16.
Okay. Oh my God.
So, no.
Um,
Let's see.
mine was a slow burn, I guess. We were friends to lovers.
Oh my god.
I can't relate.
Oh my
I
God.
was
We were-
enemies to
No,
lovers.
we were friends for quite some time. And then he said something about like going to a dance. And I remember thinking, like, the fuck you're not. Like, you're not going to a dance with a girl. No. And that's when I was like, that's not really friend vibes. That's something else. And I made the move. And it was like 6 or 7 months after that where we finally said I love you. But we were friends for like a year.
Bryce and I were
I'm
so
gonna-
mean to each other as teenagers.
You're still so
Anyway.
mean to each other.
I know.
I
I was
know,
gonna say
I
nothing's
know.
changed.
We're so toxic
just
for each other.
older.
It's great.
So Draco is just perfect in this. He
Just
set up a
perfect.
thing with her dad, where her dad picked her up and he drove her to her house, and
Mhm.
she gave him a tour of her home, and it was just very nice. They needed that time.
Draco
and
is
she
just such
saw
a sweetheart. Because Draco set the whole
Correct.
thing
He's
up.
just a simp. He just wants her to
Exactly.
love him.
He just wants her, but
Yep.
he, like, her house was in order. Neville and all of her, like, Neville was keeping up with the plants, and like everyone was taking care of her house while she was staying with Draco because of her injury. And like after that all happened, Padma and Blaze was like, "Fuck it, let's get married.
Yes.
Like, let's just like
Let's
been
just- yeah.
planning a big wedding. Let's just do it right now. Like, because I
Yep.
love you." Ugh. So that was
Life's
super
too
sweet.
short. Yeah.
So that was nice, but of course she was super stupid. It's too fast. Like, yes, you're right, it is too fast, but like, come on, it's
Yes.
Draco
Do it.
Malfoy. It's Draco
Yeah.
Malfoy.
It's Draco Malfoy, don't you know? Don't you know? I loved Scorpius asking Hermione to dance at the
Oh,
wedding.
my
Oh,
God.
yes, so cute. Because they had like a little mini reception afterwards too, and it was just so sweet.
Mhm.
So cute. I loved it. And I don't think Draco and Hermione dance the whole time, and then they dance after everyone leaves.
Yeah.
So romantic. Oh,
Yes.
let's see. Okay, let's see. I love Kingsley. And apparently that's it. That was my
That's
notes.
I put Hart Kingsley's chat with Hermione about
Yep.
his bees in her life.
Yep, exactly. There you go. Because he's such a perfect person. That's all we have.
Yep.
And then Halloween. Neville dressed up as the Whomping Willow for Halloween to teach the children not to fear nature.
He would be
My
such
heart.
a good dad. He would be
I
such a
know.
good dad.
I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, and this, let's see.
This is
Halloween
where
is for candy and
Albus-
costume. Shut the fuck up. Hang on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do this.
Go for it.
Halloween is for candy and costumes, but we also celebrate our grandparents. They died saving dad.
No,
That
I
was
can't.
James
We're
saying
moving
that.
right on. I
And
can't talk about it.
I cried. I did. I was like, oh my god. So okay. Now, Hallie, your turn.
Oh, I was just gonna say this is where Al dressed up as Mr. Draco.
So he dressed up like a penguin to match Draco, aka his suits. That's what my
Oh.
note says.
Okay, yeah. See, all I put is Al dressing as Mr. Draco.
I think it's funnier if he dresses as
That's-
Mr. Draco.
Yes, I do too.
Okay, so and Draco did teach Albus how to properly scowl, and I love that because he just wasn't doing it right. So he's
And
Anyway.
it's like, if you're gonna imitate
Ah!
me, you gotta do it right.
right. Scorpius wanted a picture with both Hermione and Draco, and his smile was so big his eyes were closed. I love him so much. It's fine.
Oh,
And this
so
is where okay.
cute.
Okay, Scorpius. I don't know what is wrong with Scorpius, but Scorpius asked Harry if he's okay because of what James said earlier.
You
Because
went
he
back
lost
to
his
it.
parents.
Carrie and
I
Kate.
did,
said
I'm sorry.
Don't bring it up.
But it's so sweet.
It's so
It is.
freaking
It's very
heartwarming.
sweet. Yep.
Like, because Harry did the, like, her story is always with you. She's right here in your heart. And I was like, stop it. Stop it.
I am
So it's
purposely
fine.
tuning you out until you're done. I can't handle it.
Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Moving on a little bit, I like that we kind of get, because I feel like Hermione needed this. As infuriating as it was, she needed kind of
A little bit of space.
timeline. No, kind of a timeline to find out about. Sorry. find
Scared me.
find out about like when this started for Draco, Narcissa mentions to her that Draco looked into her contract in June. And she was like, well, June was the solstice. Did it happen before? Did it happen after? What?
Yeah.
Like, he looked into the contract, obviously, to find out what he needed to find out, as you know, if he were to actually date Hermione Granger and what that would look like with his mom's contract with her. And I'm like, oh, you're so
I do love that Draco was taking care of all of the things that Hermione cared about. So Hermione, in her spare time, makes Wolfbane potion to supplement the
Free stuff
oh
given
God,
out.
like right, like she does it all for free. She gives like extra to like the hospital or whatever, so everyone has their potions. And while she was sick, Draco was doing it for her, and I was like, "Ma'am, do you not see him? He's right there.
Yeah, do
Like,
you not love
ooh,
him?
for the love?
yes.
Like, come on. He cares about what you care about.
Uh-huh.
Ma'am, stop."
Yep.
But I do love how Pansy was Draco's #1 fan. Pansy was so like, you need to shut the fuck up
Yeah.
about in your head
Like,
and
do
just
it.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, quit striking him along because he doesn't deserve this, basically. Oh, and I love that. She also finally watched her memories of the
Attack from way back.
hospital attack. And Cormac was there. Cormac McLaggen.
Bum, bum,
So
bum.
Yep.
bum, bum, bum. Let's see. Also, when did Susan and Ron become a thing? That's my next note.
It
And
kind
I
of
do
happens during the it's when the Quidditch pitch.
Yes, the
That's
Quidditch game
right.
gets
Yes.
attacked.
And
Yes.
she's like worried about him. So that's when it happened. It was a little
Yep.
earlier.
Okay. Because yeah, right around here, why were the Ministry officials at the Chudley Cannons game? Because they suck. Why are they there? And the bombing was definitely on purpose. What's up, McLaggen? So, and then Susan and Ron, I'm here for it. I liked how kind of playful Ron was with
Yeah,
Susan.
I do too.
Yeah.
At that,
Yep.
because
was cute.
that's Ron. That's the Ron
Yep.
I know. And so I was like, oh, he's back. He's not a
He's
dick
back.
anymore. And McLaggen got hurt. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
okay.
Before this,
Well,
I'm pretty sure he transplanted the olive tree,
hmm
Draco,
that's right. Yeah.
because
in her
her and
greenhouse.
Draco got in a fight because Draco, she's making Draco so angry with, her going back and forth, not going back and forth, just not moving forward, not
Yeah.
reaching like he wants her to. And she yelled at him, and then he showed up later transplanting an olive tree from the manor,
hmm
and he says, I didn't think a branch would be enough.
Those are the
So
kind of big
cute.
gestures I want.
Yes.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't remember if that's the time. I don't know if that's the time that she yells at him that she loves him, and it was when Scorpius went to bed upset. What? I think it was. Do you remember this?
I
Where
don't remember.
what? No. Okay, hang on. It's when she gets there and Draco is just angry at her because she's not making an effort or
Yeah.
not like telling him like what she wants. And he's like, he had kind of given her a non-ultimatum before that, because I mean, obviously she's like, well, we haven't been at this for very long. Like, I don't know. And he's upset about that. He says something and it makes Scorpius very upset and he goes to bed. And then Hermione yells at Draco and says, you need to go apologize to your son right now
I do
before you
remember
have a
this.
conversation with me. I love you too much to allow you to do that to your child. Like, and he like goes into shock.
He's
Of,
like,
oh,
So you're farther forward.
I am. This
honest.
wasn't the same
Yeah.
fight. I thought this was the same
Um,
fight as the olive branch.
So there's
Dang
a
it.
few things that I wanted to talk about right before that. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm
Um,
sorry. I'm jumping. I didn't
No,
want to miss
I'm
it.
like-
I didn't want to miss it.
But you didn't. It's right
that's
around the same
good.
time. Hold your horses.
Okay.
So
sounds
there's a
good.
line We're almost to it. We're
Okay.
almost to it. Okay, there's a line. Do you guys know the like Greek thing? Oh God, with Orpheus and Eurydice? Because chapter
No.
34 is named Eurydice. Okay, this is
I'm
my.
stupid.
Yep. Me too. It's
Okay,
okay.
so there was a line at the very end of chapter 34 that just, my God. Um, let's see. Love was effortless once she stopped fighting it. This is basically when she's like figuring out that she finally figured out that she wants Draco. Before they have this conversation, but unlike Orpheus to Eurydice, she didn't have to turn around to know that her in her heart that he was there with her. That you guys won't understand, but
I don't
I
get
get
it.
it. Orpheus and Eurydice died, or they were married. She died, and he went to the underworld to get her. And the
Aw.
only way for them to go up, or for him to bring her up, I think it was someone, Hades, told him, she's following right behind you. Do not turn around. Just walk out. Just leave. This is a very simplified version. And he couldn't, he had to turn around and see if she was following him. She was, but she was ripped back down to the underworld. And she forgave him for turning around.
Oh,
And like
that's
that's
sad.
the whole thing.
Ugh.
Anyway, but that that line, I wrote it down because I was like, stop. Like, just, she knows she doesn't have to turn around to know that he's there. And I was like, stop. Okay, I will shut up. She finally figured out what she wants. She's taking up Roger Davies' offer to
Move to the
um,
research team
move to the
instead.
research team. So she starts all of this because she knows that Draco needs
Action.
action
Needs to
instead
see
of
it.
words.
Yeah.
And so she starts all of this. She goes into this office and sees pictures of her and Scorpius and their family picture from Halloween, and oof, and a picture of just them two.
Yep.
Stop. So she sees that, and I'm like, cool, jump him right away. Uh, and
Do it.
she's making room for Draco in her house. Wasn't she making like she was
She
making
was starting to think
yes.
about like the remodeling and was like, oh, we could
Right.
put like a pool here. And like she just
Mm-hmm.
was thinking
Like,
about it. She hadn't
she's
like
thinking about
done
it.
anything.
Right. But she was like, she's wanting to make room.
That's right. All of this is leading up to it.
Exactly. And
I'm
so,
so sorry.
no, you're good. And I love Hermione and Narcissus talk about Draco and Scorpius. I do not remember anything about the conversation. I just wrote down that I love that conversation because they were both so honest with each other.
I think that's
Um,
when my comment about Draco looking into her contract in June was
you're
from.
correct. That is correct. Um, and so Hermione and Scorpius brought Hermione into Astoria's room to share like a sweet moment with her, with both of his moms, basically, and I was crying, it's fine. And
Yep.
he asked her, "Do you love me too?"
The way I
Shut the
would have
fuck
been
up.
like, you, of course,
Of
whatever you
course
want.
I do. So yeah, I was very upset. And then this is when Draco ends up being a total fucking dick.
Yes.
And I love that she just she wasn't taking it. She was
Nope.
giving it right back to him. And what did she say? Draco was just leaving. Oh God, hang on. Scorpius saw it as rejection. Scorp kept saying it was, he kept saying it was a mistake. He kept saying the word mistake for showing up and seeing this argument. And she says, "You go apologize to your son first." That's it.
Yep.
Now you can continue.
Yep. No,
I'm
that's
so sorry.
that's it. And then that's when so she goes home and then he shows up in her garden and he's planting an olive tree. And she goes out and joins him and she's like, what is this? And he says, I didn't think a branch would be enough. It's so
Good. I'm
sweet.
glad he
right.
recognized that.
Yes.
You're right. It
Yep.
wouldn't.
I have a note, like, I just love declarations of love that are shouted at each other in anger.
Yeah.
And did they yell, "I love you"?
She did.
She did. She
Okay,
did. She said,
okay.
I love you too much. She
That's
said something along
right.
those lines of, I love you too much to allow what's happening
Blah blah blah.
right now with
Apologize to your
Scorpius.
fun.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. That's right. And then I put I still have over 5 chapters left and I'm scared. So
Yeah.
there's like still so much to happen.
Yep.
And anyway, also, if I was not fully correct on the Orpheus and Eurydice thing, I'm sorry. That
That was very fast and dumbed down.
Impromptu,
for
okay?
the
Like
people
super
here.
dumbed down. I wanted to be fast. Okay, so that's it. Continue.
I liked that we got Gregory Goyle in here.
Yeah. I
So
love when
random.
he shows up.
Loved that. I loved that. I thought it was so sweet that he was married. I just thought he had his own life now. He
In
moved on.
California.
Yep. He moved on and he was having a good life. And I'm like, I liked that. And he comes and he's like, kind of, oh wow, you're with Hermione Granger. Like that's crazy.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Let's see. Okay, this is around this time. Draco bought an apothecary in Diagon Alley, and he's touring it with Hermione. That's kind of important, I
Yeah,
guess.
I never picked up on that because she goes, it talks about like, oh, she like cut her hand.
She cut
I
her
was like,
hand, yeah.
why is that mentioned? Like, who cares? I mean,
I literally
a couple of
put,
chapters later, I'm like, ooh.
what's the importance of her cutting her hand? I'm freaking myself out.
I'm like, oh, that's cool.
And they were visiting Astoria's grave. And it was just so sweet.
Yeah.
And Hermione was talking to Astoria at her grave. I was very upset.
Yep.
I was very upset.
And she conjured the wreath, like she conjured it,
Yes.
the Potter's
Oh,
grave
God.
sites. Yeah.
The growth
Yeah.
in the, oh my God, I can't. And then so they were finally attacked again by Death Eaters.
This time with
Draco
Scorpius and Al at a
Albus.
park.
Yep, they
Yep.
took him to a park because, children.
Park.
Anyway. Someone explain it, sorry.
Someone
I've been talking
explain it.
so
Sorry.
much.
So they
I've been
go
talking.
they go to a park. Hermione, Draco, Al, and Scorpius. I don't even remember what Hermione and Draco were chatting about, but they both realize at the same time that something's not right at the park. Like the weather all of a sudden starts changing from, sunny, happy to super, super dark. Clouds roll in and it's like, ooh, this is ominous. Something's happening.
Yeah, like,
And then who is it that shows up? It's
a bunch of 'em.
Rodolphus. Or is it
Rodolphus and
So who was the other one?
is it both brothers that show up?
I want to say
yeah,
it's both.
they both do.
Lestrange, Rodolphus, and why am I blanking on his name?
I don't know.
Don't even
I am
ask me.
too.
I could not tell you his name.
Hang on.
We're on it.
It starts with an R, doesn't it? Rodolphus. Let's look that up.
I would just say the Lestrange brothers.
That's literally
Yeah.
what I'm Googling. Lestrange.
Lestrange brothers. Yeah, but it's
R-
not showing their
Ravisten.
names.
Ravisten.
Thank you. That's it. Yep.
Okay, them.
They show up.
With
Both.
Is
Death
there?
Eaters and werewolves.
I was gonna say,
Mhm.
yep. There's more there, and Hermione and Draco have to end up dueling them out. Hermione
Once
is
again
trying to
calls
save
in
Draco,
Nippy.
or is trying to save
Zippy.
yep,
Zippy.
Scorpius and Albus. But not before like one of them, Rabistan or Rodolphus, one of the two, gets their hands on Scorpius and Albus for a minute. And they're freaking out and everything.
She tells them, close your eyes.
Yep, close your eyes.
Close your
And
eyes.
doesn't she just stupefy him?
No, she put
She
a
does
curse
something
that
else.
started to strangle him.
Okay.
Yeah, she
that's
did
it.
something.
Okay. And then she ends up disillusioning him. So that
Zippy,
yeah.
he would be caught. Zippy also
Mhm.
got hurt by the vine.
Yeah,
Zippy
'cause
was
she-
hurt and couldn't take the kids.
Couldn't apparate in or something like, or she could, and they were like standing there, and that's when she got attacked. I think it was like right there.
So it's this big attack. They end up obviously they're okay. Everybody's fine except for Zippy. I don't remember what happens after that. Then is that when they
Well,
go?
she yells at him because Draco, he like goes, because they have the anti-apparition like
Right.
stuff up. And so they made like a plan beforehand. They're like, hey, like the second you come, you follow me. Like if I'm leaving, you're following. Like I'm not gonna do this. And so he doesn't follow.
Not
they're
right
like,
away.
Yeah. And so she's like, what the hell, man? And so when he does show up, isn't he's injured?
Yes.
Not. I didn't think
Not
it
like
was this
super
time.
injured,
Oh yeah,
but
you're
he's
right.
injured.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And it's not super bad, but yeah.
No. I
And then
wrote
go ahead.
I wrote down it's weird to me that the Death Eaters and the wolves are acting like kind of separate entities. Like they have different agendas. And
Yeah.
I picked up on that in this one, which we do kind of find out that Greyback is really just focused on her.
Yeah. He doesn't really care.
Yeah, he just wanted her, whereas the others wanted Malfoy
Yep.
because, he
Yep.
betrayed them. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yep. No, that's exactly what happened. And then I think the next thing, I'm trying to remember the exact next thing that happens.
They move into
I
her
wrote
house.
I wrote a lot of random notes. I put I love magic. Dreaming of changing a home because you can. When they start putting her blueprints into
Mhm.
Action
action.
because they
Because
Oh,
move
yeah,
in.
this is when
let's
they move
make-
in.
Let's make a second level. Let's put a pool in. Let's do all this. And wow, we can just do that because
How easy.
ugh, yeah, what a dream. I also wrote that Susan is great. I kind of feel bad that she got stuck with Ron.
God.
Uh, there's also I also put a little note in here. Draco looked her up and down. Hermione now knew it meant he liked her dress enough to want to see her out of it.
Oh my God. That's at Padma's wedding.
Oh.
So you're very far ahead.
All these little notes.
Um,
I'm just skipping.
they are okay. So Cormac McLagan, he got hurt and he wasn't waking up for a long time, and he finally made a deal with them to be like, "Hey, I'm going to give you all my memories for amnesty. Please do not send me to Azkaban, whatever."
But then Percy is,
So-
being a little smart.
Of
Like, "Ooh,
course.
let's add a little loophole.
Exactly. Percy's Percy, and we love him. And while that's happening, that's when, oh God, like the trial is going. Draco is making an effort with her family because, they're together and he wants to,
Yep.
like, I'm gonna befriend your dad. They have a staycation. Narcissa and Draco were talking about things. I forgot what it was. Her hallucinations are back, and Lucius was talking to her. Lucius talks to her, and that's so bittersweet to me. This is when they go to Paris. Sorry, I'm jumping a teeny tiny bit, but they go to Paris for like a week. They come back. Scorpius drew a family picture that I sobbed at. It's fine. Included the Weasleys, Andromeda, Teddy, Narcissa, and Hermione.
And Harry and Ginny
and
their
Harry and
kids.
Ginny and their kids. The son was smiling because that's his mom. I'm sorry, that upset me very much. And then he drew a brother.
He drew a brother.
Yes. Yep. I love that.
That's
Love
it.
that.
Very upset about it. The son smiling, that's Mummy. Oh, I was sobbing. It's fine. I did have to put the book down for a minute. I was so upset.
Yes.
Let's see. And I love that they were having the awkward, like, should we have kids? Talk.
Should we
So
should we have
funny.
do you want more? Do you want another?
Yep.
Oh, so freaking funny. And they had a snowball fight. And they just just
Some
so
good fluff to make you feel better
Exactly.
after the
This was
attack on the children.
Lovely
Yep.
fluff. Perfect.
Mhm.
And they were looking at puppies. And they
Oh,
of
my
course got the
word.
runt. They got the runt.
Yes. And then
And-
of course Scorpius's names for everything. It's so cute. He names their dog Albus.
He names things after things he loves.
Which is so funny
Oh.
because he names her little baby chicks. I think it's chicks. She gets more baby chicks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he names them 1, 2, 3, and Granger.
Dead.
So
God.
funny. So funny. I love that. I have a
That's-
random note in here again that I just said I hate her mother. I didn't write why.
It's okay. There's no reason. You don't need one.
Yeah.
Okay. Christmas at the Burrow. Molly made everyone a Weasley sweater, and I love that Scorpius made Narcissa wear hers. I loved that. God, it was so funny. And by the by, Scorpius has been speaking at this point. Like he
Yeah.
first spoke to
It's not very
Hermione.
often, but
Not
he's
very
sweet.
often, but he like finally spoke in front of Andromeda, Teddy, and Narcissa. And he got like he didn't really realize
Nervous.
it.
Yeah.
And then I think Hermione talked him down, and then he went straight to Narcissa and said hi.
Yep.
And it was just the sweetest progress. I was, oh my God,
Yep.
it's fine.
It is really cute.
We find out, so Teddy he wants to be an Auror like his mom,
So cute.
but he sucks at potions, and so Hermione's been helping him. Well, Draco has been riding Teddy at Hogwarts, helping him with his
Helping
potions.
him.
So again, Draco is the perfect man.
You stupid man, making me fall for you, and you're
He's
fictional.
helping. Oh my God, it's so stupid. And Teddy wants to make Wolfsbane.
Yes, I love that. And Draco tells him no. And, obviously Teddy is like, oh, and Hermione's like, why not? And he's like, well, because, it's a hard potion to make and, you need to be a little bit better. Uh-huh.
When he asked, his hair turned the same shade of brown as Remus's. I cried at that little tidbit, just an FYI. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, finally Draco does, say he's gonna help, but it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm so sorry. Anyway, let's see. Narcissa started to decline. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say during this whole time, they get engaged.
Yeah, they're just kind of quietly
not there
engaged.
yet.
Yes.
Sorry,
Oh,
I'm not there yet.
mine is there right after the Weasleys' Christmas. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm skipping around apparently with my notes.
This is what Blaise gifted Hermione and Draco the chair
that they had sex in.
Dead. Scorpius was so excited that everyone was wearing their Weasley sweaters. And this was when Hermione signed the word son to him, thinking of him as a son. Do you mean it? Stop.
Yes.
Stop. Oh my God. Let's see. Oh, and Scorp was so scared of meeting the rest of the Weasley clan, and
Harry was the one that calmed him down.
Thank you. Harry was the one. He was scared they wouldn't like him, and so Harry reassured him that, like, they took me in. It's like, oh, stop. Oh God, Harry Potter, stop. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Draco gave his house to Dean and Daphne. That was random, but I mean, go for it. Love it. Love that for him. I love that everything is wrapping up quite nicely. It's like a nice little bow for now.
I love those.
This is when Draco proposes, and he proposed with her family ring.
Yes. I loved that too.
Oh my God, that never happens. I feel, and I never read that, and my heart. Oh, it was her own grandmother's, and it was pretty, and okay. And he proposed not for his mom or Scorpius, but because he wanted
it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Let's see. Oh, and I love that he wasn't like proposing. He was basically saying, like, I this is what I want to marry you. Take all the time you need to decide.
Yeah.
And she's like, bitch, I don't need to decide.
Like, I'm good.
I
Let's do
it. Oh, I was so happy about
that.
And
it's like finally.
Let's see.
Not being dumb.
Oh, someone leaked Narcissa's condition to the press, and that's terrible. My God.
Mm-hmm.
Someone needs to lose their license.
Again, Theo got really attractive there. He's like, we will find who did it, and we will fire them. You're like, okay, Theo, do it.
Theo. Scorpius's birthday. Okay, I cried. It's fine. I always cry. Scorpius's only birthday request was for everyone in his family picture that he drew to celebrate with him.
Yep.
And he didn't make a wish because it already came true.
Yeah, everything already was there.
Yep. Is that the same party that Draco is doing animal noises?
I think so.
It's so funny. I can't. I try to imagine this, and it's really, really hard to imagine.
I honestly cannot imagine it.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
Okay, let's see. And this. Okay, so lots of things have happened politically.
Draco and Hermione were working with the, I don't want to say revolution, but like whatever you want to call
Kingsley was is now like
Has
minister
decided, yeah, I'm
again.
gonna be it and all that stuff.
Like she's
Yeah.
the temporary undersecretary, and it's gonna be the trial for Ravisten, Lestrange, and like the other Death Eaters, and then a coup happens
Yep.
there.
More
So
action. Here we go.
more action. So people get hurt, and of course Draco is one of them.
Yep.
It's fine. What was it? Wasn't it the same curse that killed his dad that he got hit
Is
with?
that what it was?
I'm pretty sure
I don't remember.
it was
It's
like
something
like a
eating curse.
decay. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was because I remember him laughing like
Yes.
humorlessly because irony, you know.
Mhm.
But of course she saves him. Hermione
Yep.
saves him.
Yep. And
Um,
she's up for hours and hours doing this
mhm.
curse breaking thing and keeping him alive the whole time. Like, ugh, that's stressful. But then he's fine and we're happy.
The papers were calling Draco a hero. And I love that there was a moment of like Narcissa being so proud of that. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't
Yep.
a big part, but I picked up on that and oh, I loved it. Because he pushed Harry out of the way of that curse, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes.
he
And
did.
so I love their reluctant friendship. It's so funny.
Yes.
I love when they become friends.
Yep.
It's so
Me too.
so dumb. I love them. Okay. Go ahead.
Oh no, it's fine. I wrote down I loved the part it's after Draco wakes up after Hermione saves him and everything, and he tells her that he could hear her saving him the whole time.
Oh yeah.
He said, I could hear you saving me. And I'm like, it's just sweet. It's just sweet. I'm glad he was able to hear that, I guess.
I know, I don't know if I'd want to hear that, like the
I know,
stress and the
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
whole rushing around. I'd be
But
like, I'm
I
good.
guess that would be, the calming part of the storm is hearing her voice and knowing that she is doing everything she can
True.
to
Okay.
help him.
Okay,
It's
I guess I see
sweet.
it that way.
It's cute.
I do love that Draco is like a stereotypical, like, I don't want a dog, dad. Yet the dog is like, that's his
The
favorite.
best friend.
Like,
Yeah.
I love it so
Yep.
much because that's
Yep.
just how it is.
Uh-huh.
Scorpius asked them at one point, "Are we a real family?" And I cried. Um, I also
Yes, I
like
wrote that down too.
so sweet.
Yep.
Padma. Okay, so when the story of Narcissus,
Condition comes out.
thank you. Parvati, whatever. She is the one that she writes because she's a reporter. She writes a lovely thing about Narcissa anyway.
Yes.
Mhm.
And Narcissa isn't it money and money and support to families for people with dementia? Like she's trying to further the research and is trying to help people. Did I read that correctly? Okay, I don't think I'm
I
gonna
didn't
say
write
yes.
it down, so I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
say yes
Okay.
because I was like, oh, how sweet. And Scorpius and Al are going to the same school. Scorpius was practicing for his first day. He's so freaking cute.
Yes.
Anyway, let's see. I did not keep up a lot of notes in these last few chapters because I was just going through them so quickly. Blazes and
finish.
exactly. Blaze and Padma's wedding. Loved it.
Yep. I
It was
love
so
that we
Everything about
finally
it.
we get Draco and his sorry that Pavarti at the beginning of the entire fic could not wait to see him in.
I don't think men wear saris, but yes.
Oh, is that
I think
okay?
it's just women. Anyway,
You're right.
there
So
was a
wrong?
whole.
Is that what it is?
I think
don't-
The
I'm
men
not
wear
sure.
something.
Yeah, it's just not called
I'm
a
very
sari.
ignorant. I don't know the names of things.
You're okay. But yes, he looked very fit in it.
When doesn't he?
Like it's a very
I
good point.
know. Yes.
I loved that Scorpius, like, because they do the henna, basically, like the whatever.
Yes.
And it's a custom to put the like your husband's name in, or like your soon to be husband's name in the henna, and he has to find it. I love that they extended that to like the bridal party. I say in quotation marks, because Hermione put Scorpius on one hand and Draco on the other, and I was like, stop, stop. And Cho did herself because she was very like coming to terms with like dating herself, like not pining after Theo anymore. Because I don't know if we mentioned it, she was pining after Theo.
Yep.
You did mention it.
Okay, good. And I love those stupid little things. And then they boned again, Hermione and Draco, and it was
course.
great.
Yes. What is it about not wearing underwear that turns a lot of people on?
Good question. I have no idea.
Thrill
know
of risk
either.
of being caught is what I would say.
All right. Okay.
Well, at least for the women.
That
I
works.
don't the men easy
My-
access. That's
yeah,
like the only
my-
thing I can think
yep.
of. Like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's fair. Let's see. They caught Greyback.
Yep.
Draco. They caught Greyback. I don't remember
Finally.
when.
It's shortly. I think it's after the wedding, or was it before?
It's after, because
It's
it's after that.
Okay.
Draco killed him.
Yep.
Love that for him. Because Hermione couldn't do it. She couldn't do because you have to mean the Avada Kedavra curse.
And he meant it
And-
because he started going after Hermione, and
Yep. And she's a healer. Of course, she's not gonna, mean
Yep.
it. It's hard. I loved the last chapter. It was a nice, like, the perfect little time
very
jumps.
good epilogue.
Multiple.
Yep.
Oh my! And I really liked that I did not have to watch Narcissa die. I was
Yeah.
so happy I
Yep.
did not have to read that.
it
Yeah.
was cute. It was good. It was very well written the way that she
Mhm.
was and like the way that her life ended, but it was not like
I
did
didn't
not-
have
I
to
didn't need the trauma,
experience it.
Yep.
Like it was like, oh, like I don't know. It was just so beautifully written and like
Yeah.
just ugh.
For an epilogue, for what it was perfect. It rounded out the rest of the story.
Mhm.
How far into the future did it end up being?
2017.
that
Their
means
first
nothing to me.
it ended on Scorpius and Albus's first day of Hogwarts.
Yes. So
So
we
that
went
would,
from
what,
them being
be
5 and 6
6 years.
to
Mhm.
11 years old.
Yep.
So okay. And then because usually I'm like, I want a marriage scene, but we got to hear about it. They
Mhm.
got married on the solstice exactly a year later after their first kiss, their little accidental
Dead.
kiss.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so cute, so cute. I love any story where we get to see what their future looks like.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I
They did
love
end up
that.
having kids.
Yep.
Leo was the boy, and she just had a baby girl named Rose. I do
Mhm.
like how they incorporated the names Rose and Hugo because
Yes.
that's like kind of the original. Hugo
Yep.
is
A
what-
pet.
yeah,
What was he though?
Scorpion, a Kneasel, half Kneasel.
Okay.
Because he has one like Hermione, and so Hermione tells
Ooh.
Scorpius like, like half Kneasels are very smart. They'll protect you. Mine protected us from an evil man that was a rat, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was so amazed, and he was so scared to get his wand, and
Yes.
oh, so
And then it
sweet.
ended up having thestral hair in it. Is that what it was?
Yes, I was gonna ask
Thestral
what is
hair.
what is the importance of that? It said the
That's
Elder
what's
Wand
in
had
the
a
Elder
rare.
Wand. Yep, that was in the Elder Wand. And it's so rare, like that they don't make them like that.
Mhm.
But there was one, like
Okay.
they made this
'Cause
one.
Yeah, he said there's
and
less than
got
10
it.
in the world,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
4 are here. And they weren't even going to like offer these up. This was for like decoration because
Yeah.
they're so old, and it did it for Scorpius. So,
Yep.
okay,
I love that. Yep.
and Draco and Hermione, they got married. And she did not change her last name. Or no, she did. I'm sorry. She changed her last name to Malfoy.
Yes.
And one that never happens, I feel like, in a fic, and I loved that it did for this. And
Well,
the
and it's
reason
funny,
behind it
yeah.
was
Mhm.
because
She wants to match Scorpius.
she wants to match Scorpius.
Yes, I loved that so much. And I
Oh.
loved that, in the middle of the story, that it's part of one of her disagreements with Lisa, where Lisa is like, of course you
Yep.
change your name. But like, of course you do this. And she goes, I don't plan on ever changing my name. I don't care who I marry. Whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
and you still did it, but you did it for the reasons that, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
didn't change it
Beautiful.
because my husband wanted me to. I did it because I want to connect with my son. Like,
Right.
I
Yep.
love that.
Like, because she mentioned, like, no hyphenations, no nothing, because I don't want there to be any question about this being my son,
Yeah.
like that kind
Mhm.
of thing. And I was like, oh, stop. I still dislike Hermione's mother. She's still the
Oh,
worst.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, that's it.
I wrote down about they have a little conversation about Lily and Scorpius. There's a little hint of possible affection there.
did
between
not pick
Lily
up
and
on that.
Scorpius.
I did.
And literally Hermione starts to bring it up and Draco interrupts her and says, no, no. And I'm like, okay, let's be honest here, Draco. If not with Lily, then it would be with
Yeah, it's gonna
Albus.
be another
Either
one of the
way-
children. Like
either way,
somehow.
he's gonna end up with a Potter. So
Oh my
I
God.
think you need to prepare yourself.
Oh my God. I love
Ah.
that Scorp was worried about not being in Slytherin and them being like, well, no, we'll be proud of you no matter what. We actually have a bet that you're not going to be in Slytherin.
Yeah, like we
I
both
thought it was
think
funny.
no.
And thanks for being my mom. Thank you for choosing me. Could not. And apparently it affects Carrie Ann too.
Like I was like, oh, this is like such a cute, like good wrap up, and then they boom come in with the last punch to make you cry. Like you just
I
can't
know.
like get through the last
Yep.
chapter.
And he signs to
true.
his dad, I'll make you proud. You already do. And then he
I
gives him his
know.
last note. And I was crying. It's fine. And of
It's
course,
fine.
Scorpius brought Mint the cactus to Hogwarts with him.
Well, of course.
That's my last note. Scorpius bringing Mint the
I know.
cactus. And that upsets me in such beautiful ways. So,
I love it. I
This
love
fic
it.
was just beautiful. There
It
is no other
was.
way to describe it than beautiful.
I'm so
So,
glad that
the
we do this
hype is
podcast
correct.
so that I can make you read fics that
Like this.
otherwise you might not read.
I know. I wonder how many more years it would have been until you read this, Tracy.
Yeah, I know. It was just so long and daunting.
Yep.
But
Yep.
the hype, yeah, follow it. It didn't
It lives
disappoint.
up to it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Completely.
So, oh my goodness.
So good. What are you all reading now?
How
What
do
are
you
you
move
reading
on
next?
from that?
What are you reading?
Nothing. This took up my entire
know.
my entire life.
You need a minute to recuperate from this. I
I'm
say
reading
that.
too many things.
I know. I say that as I've got like 6 tabs open. Like,
That's
I-
exactly where I'm at right now.
Like I still haven't finished. Like I still haven't like I left off exactly where I was last time. I mentioned Jurassic Park. Haven't picked it up in weeks because I've been reading this. Same with The Son of Neptune. Haven't picked it up in weeks. I have literally read nothing but this. So that's it.
I just finished A Court of Frost and Starlight for the second time. I'm starting Silver Flames, Sarah J. Maas. Hermione wise, I'm listening to Falling Dark, which is the second book in the series of Bending Light. I had never heard of those before. I just actually added them to our list. It's because the Hermione Archives is reading them right now on Spotify. So I started listening to those. I'm also listening to our next one that we have coming up, Tremble and Depart. So that one's also on Spotify, which is so nice.
yeah.
Guys, I appreciate you
Every
Spotify
narrator.
readers so much because I just sit on my couch all day and I will just read. But if it's on audio, I will clean my house while I listen. It's great. That's what I'm reading.
My turn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have 6 tabs open right now. And
So proud.
I know. Physical book wise, I'm trying to think. I just finished a reread of An Ice Planet Barbarians and another one of Ruby Dixon's because
Why not?
palate
Of course.
cleanser. I needed it. Not gonna apologize. The next one, Barbarians Taming, should be out, the newest release. So I'm gonna read that just because I can and I want to. Some of the Hermione's that I have open, Bloody, Slutty, and Pathetic. It's a work in progress. It's like 1 chapter away from being done, and I've been waiting for them. They are very good at updating, so I've been waiting for it to get closer to being done before I start it. So I'm gonna start that. I have one open, Big Dick Energy. I saw a TikTok that said like Theo is like the best in that, like as a side character, so had to read it. Bread and Circuses, Beyond Recall or Desire, 7 Days in April, and then Draco Malfoy and the Seven. I have quite a few that I've heard really good things about, and I'm very excited to read them.
Is the 7 Days in April, is that by In a Days 22?
It is.
Nice.
I was gonna say
Fun
that sounds
story.
familiar.
It does.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've heard such good things, so I haven't started it yet. It's shorter than this one by, like, 500,000 words, but I haven't started it yet. But that's what I've been doing. Not a whole
Nice.
lot. Not a whole lot, as I have like 7 open. It's fine.
It is fine. Join us next time when we read Tremble and Depart by Dark of the Moon. Dramione Fanfic Fanatics is a fan podcast that discusses and reviews fanfiction written by various authors based on the characters Hermione Granger and Draco Malfoy from the Harry Potter series, created and owned by J.K. Rowling. We do not own the rights to the Harry Potter series, its characters, or any of the fanfiction works mentioned in this podcast. The purpose of our podcast is to provide commentary, analysis, and entertainment related to the fanfiction community and to foster a sense of community among fans. We respect the creative efforts of fanfiction authors and consider their works as transformative interpretations of the original source material. All fanfiction works discussed on this podcast are the intellectual property of their respective authors. We aim to provide proper attribution and promote the fanfiction community by linking the author's original works where possible. This podcast is created for entertainment purposes and is not intended to infringe upon the rights of the copyright holders. If you are the author of a fanfiction work discussed on this podcast and would like us to remove or modify our content related to your work, please contact us and we will promptly address your request. By listening to this podcast, you acknowledge and agree to the terms of this disclaimer.